California Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff, the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, what can be done by these House committees asking for information from a number of agencies, especially when there is clearly no progress on agreeing between the Senate and the House on a bicameral, bipartisan investigation, an independent investigation?
Well, an independent investigation really is what makes the most sense, and the Speaker's been working hard to try to bring that about, but there is Republican resistance to it. And in the meantime, we're not going to sit still. We're going to get to the full facts of what took place in the run-up to January 6th, why some of the warning signs were missed, what we need to do to protect our country going forward. And so six of us, committee chairs with relevant jurisdiction, have written to 16 agencies asking for the pertinent documents so that we can begin the process of a thorough investigation to make sure that we understand exactly what went into that failed insurrection and how we prevent any further kind of violence like that.
Also at that news conference yesterday, there was a question by our colleague Christian Welker on North Korea. North Korea is now clearly challenging the new administration, as they have in the past with Presidents Obama and Trump, firing 2 short-range ballistic missiles Thursday. President Biden pointed out, contrary to his predecessor, that these are in violation of the UN sanctions, and the UN Security Council Committee on Sanctions is actually meeting at this hour. This is part of what the exchange between Christian Welker and the president yesterday.
What, if any, actions will you take, and what is your red line on North Korea?
We're consulting with our allies and partners, and there will be responses if they choose to escalate. We will respond accordingly. But I'm also prepared for some form of diplomacy, but it has to be conditioned upon the end result of denuclearization.
Congressman, from all reports, Kim Jong-un has made dramatic changes, advances in his nuclear program, weapons and, the nuclear program in terms of the different types of weapons, in particular the missile technology, just in the last 4 years, under the cover of diplomacy and love letters back and forth between him and President Trump, the way President Trump called them love letters. So what kind of diplomacy can take place now? All of President Biden's overtures have been rejected so far.
Well, I would frankly expect us to be where we are right now. Early in the administration, the North Koreans doing missile tests as a way of trying to increase their leverage when ultimately there are negotiations. But also, it has a very practical effect. They're perfecting their ballistic missile program. They're developing missiles that not only can hit the United States, but can ultimately contain nuclear warheads, and maybe, if they move quickly enough, multiple warheads to evade missile defense systems. So it serves both the goal of advancing their program, but also raising the stakes. I think that President Biden's going to take a very different tack than Donald Trump. Donald Trump gave Kim Jong-un the legitimacy of an international summit repeatedly, even brought a cessation to join military exercise with South Korea, and got nothing for it. Joe Biden will not make that mistake. And I think it makes sense to go to the United Nations to achieve new sanctions and turn up the heat on North Korea as well.
Let me ask you about Afghanistan, because the president certainly signaled that he doesn't think there can be a withdrawal by May 1st, as President Trump had determined. Do you think, from what you know now, that he'll be able to reach his goal of being out before next year, which he said yesterday, given the violence, the level of violence right now from the Taliban?
Well, I think that he'll be able to meet that goal. The question is whether there will be an interim agreement between the Afghan government and the Taliban to share power. I think it certainly looks like the United States is leaving. That's very much, I think, the president's intention. The question is what will be left behind. If we're very fortunate, and this is going to be uphill, we can secure some kind of endurable power sharing agreement that will outlast our leaving the country. This, I think, is the right strategy for the administration, but I don't want to underestimate how difficult it's going to be or be too optimistic about what the ultimate shape of Afghanistan will look like when we leave.
Congressman Adam Schiff, thank you very much. Appreciate your being